Hello, and welcome to Chaotic Creatives, the show about embracing the chaos that comes with living a creative life.
We're your hosts, two self-proclaimed chaotic creative gals. I am Rachael Renee. I'm an artist, a creativity coach, and your internet hype gal.
And I am Lauren Hom, better known as Hom Sweet Hom on the internet. I am a designer, lettering artist, muralist, and chef. Welcome.
Yay! Today, we're doing an experimental episode where we both coach folks in the creative fields, creative realms, creative world. And we thought it would be helpful to creative coach each other.
Yeah, because we're always doing it anyways when we hang out.
Yeah.
And we thought it might be fun to do it live on an episode.
Yeah. Truly, every time we talk and hang out as friends, we, of course, talk about our personal lives, but it does always tend to get back to our businesses because we care so much about our businesses.
And also our personal lives affect our businesses and vice versa. So.
Yeah. And we have each other to kind of bounce ideas off of and noodle on new ideas and support each other. And that's really like offering each other coaching. And we thought if we did it on air, it might be helpful because we do both offer coaching and we're opening up some spots in the next few weeks, next few months. Both of us are, which you can find on our respective websites and in the show notes. So this is just giving you a little taste of what that might look like. Of course, each individual one-on-one coaching session is going to be tailored to your particular problem or challenge, rather. It's not a problem, but a challenge, what you're stuck on or working through. And we both decided to bring some questions to each other. So would you like to coach or be coached first?
Ooh. Why don't you do me first?
Okay. In what way? Like, I coach you first.
Yeah. How about that? Okay.
All right, Lauren. Hi. We know each other. Tell me what you're challenge with right now. What are you stuck on? What can I help you with?
Well, okay. So I have been doing my creative business for over a decade now. Started as a lettering artist and slowly expanded to doing chalk, murals, and now I do like a little bit of everything. I recently went to culinary school, and so, you know me, I'm a chaotic creative. I like to do a lot of things. And I'm always balancing this like practical side of me and then like the passionate side of me where like I want to do all the things. And then like all the business advice that I read is telling me like, no, you have to do one thing to be successful. I also understand that like for comprehension's sake, doing fewer things is easier for like a, I guess, audience or customer to understand. But what I've been struggling with lately that is new for me, that I never struggled with early on in my career because I just had the like, young, hungry, like not in my head naivete, which I miss so much. Like nothing to lose, no fears. I have been a little bit more in my head about like putting myself out there, promoting myself, marketing my work. I think I've been able to ride off of a lot of the momentum that I built in the first half of my career, like doing a lot of personal work, publishing it online, being really active on Instagram, writing a newsletter. I did all the things I was supposed to do. I got all the accolades. Like I have a really solid portfolio and like, I guess, I got my foot in the door in the industry, but I recently sent my media kit out and I was going to update my like metrics and stuff. And I went in my Instagram analytics and I've only posted on Instagram 7 times in the last 3 months. And that's not good. And what I'm struggling with is I have a lot of brain garbage around sharing my work and promoting my work when as that's my output on the internet. When my input on the internet is just like the world is on fire. And I know I've been getting better at turning the spigot of world is on fire off more because it's not entirely helpful. But I just have been having a harder time like knowing more things online and feeling overwhelmed. And my MO is avoidance. And so I mean, you know, we're friends. Like, I won't text people that I love dearly back for weeks, months.
And it builds up.
Yeah.
And so now you've got this mountain of kind of brain garbage, as you named it, to climb over, to get back to regular posting, to marketing the work that is important and helpful to people.
Yeah. And I will add some more context that even if it's not Instagram per se, like I've just been struggling with consistently marketing my work because I also know as someone who's self-employed, and I've taught this before, and it's something that like younger me is yelling at older me about. Like, when you're self-employed, you have to be your own hype person. No one else is going to like do it for you. And so let me add some more context. So the reason that I need to work through this, like putting myself out there and marketing my work more, is because I know that I'm in charge of getting my work out there as someone who's self-employed and generating like my own leads, because I'm running a business and I need to make money. And if I stop marketing my work, eventually the work will dry up, and work has been slower in the last 2 years. And I think I'm just feeling a little bit more of that, like, oh shoot, I need to do something about this now. And I think it's, for better or worse, it's a pretty normal human thing where we don't do anything about something until we have to.
Yeah.
And so I'm starting to actually think like, okay, how do I, without taking the less desirable route of like bullying myself into posting, because that doesn't feel good.
Right. And I think your audience can feel when you're forcing it.
Yeah, absolutely. Like, I'm trying to figure out or work through how to share my work more often, more joyfully, in a way that's not just like, do it.
Yeah. Okay. You're not your own bad boss. Yeah.
Because I can just like do it, but that's not my ideal.
But you want it
way.
to feel good. You want it to be part of your routine again and feel good and exciting and inspiring, so that your audience also feels good and inspired and excited about the work that you're producing. Yeah. Okay. So I guess a couple of questions to kind of set the stage. What are your offerings? What are you trying to market?
I am available for like freelance, like my bread and butter, like how I started my business, just freelance commercial design work. So like lettering for book covers, magazines, like ad campaigns, that kind of stuff, murals, just anything where like I'm a service provider.
Yeah.
So that's kind of like been the core of my business the entire time.
So that's core one.
So that is usually me sharing just like past projects I've done, artwork, like process. That was like how most people in my like Instagram neck of the woods built their followings, was just like, here, I'm going to share the work that I'm doing.
Yeah.
We were kind of using it as like pocket portfolios. And then I also teach in-person workshops and online classes. So there's an education pillar of my business. So I, on again, off again, will do like launch model online courses, sometimes like one-off courses, webinars. And then sometimes I'll do evergreen things. At this point, when this episode comes out, I'm not quite sure what my offerings will be, but online education and in person, so promoting educational stuff. And that happened organically because when I was sharing just my artwork, people asked, how did you make said artwork? And would just ask me questions. And that's how I got into teaching. And then the third pillar, I would say, is I do like occasional brand partnerships and things like that. So usually it's less lifestyle and more like creative entrepreneur, like adjacent brand partnerships. So those are kind of the three things that make money for me.
Great. Okay. So which of those three, and the answer can be all of them, are you most interested in getting more work from?
Ooh.
Like if you had to give a hierarchy.
So here's the thing I've been hung up on for years.
Okay.
Because I started as again, just like run of the mill, like working from a desk in the corner of my bedroom, freelance graphic designer, like lettering
Cute
artist.
That you're getting back to your desk in the bedroom.
But like those are like my roots.
Yeah.
Is like, I never thought I was going to speak or teach or do any of those things. So like online courses have historically been more profitable for my business. However, for like ever since I started teaching them, I've like done so much business coaching over the years. I have been holding on to this thing and I still hold on to it, and like I'm okay with it at this point, that like I like doing the artwork. Like I like getting paid for doing the art, and I still feel like I need to be actively doing that in order to have the credibility to teach as well, because otherwise I feel like I could wade into some weird like grifty territory where I'm like, I'm a freelance graphic designer, but I haven't had a client in like 10 years.
Sure.
I just don't know if that's the
it's helping you keep knowledge of the industry.
Yeah.
That's
so
fair.
I'd say the first 2 brand partnerships were just kind of like a thing that
That's a bonus.
happened.
Okay.
I'm the least interested in doing that, even though it also is very lucrative.
Sure.
So the first 2, education and then like actually getting paid for the design.
Okay. So, and what I heard from you is likely you'll probably do launch style for your education.
Yeah.
So you'll have your months or quarters broken up into like, okay, I'm working on this launch and this education right now. And then, maybe the months in between launches, you'll be sharing more portfolio style work. So how I'm like envisioning it as a Gantt chart of the calendar year.
It's a Gantt chart.
Oh, that is from my engineering background. It's Gantt is like GANTT. It's I think the person who came up with it, but it's like where you see the months are on top and the project tasks it's like a table, and then you see like, okay, task 1 is ideate or research, and it's like month 1 to 4. And then like task 2 is this, and then it just kind of shows you like
the whole
overlapping.
timeline.
Yeah.
Interesting. Okay.
That was like one of the first things they taught us in engineering school.
I'm going to have to look this up.
Oh my gosh, I'll share I have a colorful spreadsheet that I use to like map out my year so that I can really think about my launches and like, okay, I'm going to be working on this one collaboration project with a ceramic artist at this time. So like, don't be scheduling other stuff during that time. It just helps me kind of map out like, okay, these are my priorities for these quarters or months. Mm-hmm. So I'm envisioning kind of your launches as like alternating between those with other things interspersed, of course. So if you are in one of the in-between launch times and focusing on client work, corporate client work, what kind of things would you normally be posting online before you kind of entered Garbage Brain Mountain ride?
In between launches. So this is like what am I posting to attract client work?
Yes.
Historically, I've posted like past client projects that I've been really proud of, like the highlights, bangers, and then like recent client work.
Okay.
Yeah. So, I mean, I have just like a decade's worth. Like I have an archive of so much work and so much like B-roll that Kristle shot. And like I have the stuff. I just like, and I know I can like schedule it. I just like won't do it.
Yeah. Okay. So ignoring the stuff that you already have, what could you work on that would get you excited to share? Like, can we ignore all of the work that you've already created? You have a lot of content. We will pretend that doesn't exist for now. And you're starting fresh with kind of, I want to get clients with this kind of work. And I also am a passion project person. I have a lot of things that I'm working on. Is there anything like, when I ask that question, are there any ideas that are popping into your head as far as like, I want to work on this and talk about this project, like your Taking Back Sunday project, for example? Or are there any kind of like silly Peen Cuisine style projects that maybe are not as Peen Cuisine-y, that have been hanging out in your brain that you haven't executed yet?
And
maybe not because you've been focused on the move.
No, that deadline dinners thing is the only thing I've thought of, but it's not design related. Like,
okay, but the deadline dinners thing is also, so switching gears to the education side, I guess, like you could be shooting B-roll of doing that, talking about that experience, talking about kind of the melding of your freelance lifestyle and your passion projects of cooking and preparing for your chaotic creative schedule that you set for yourself and and that's why you work for yourself. Could any of that be used to market some of your educational content? Like, you know, this is a passion project, but in a different format than you've historically shared.
Wait, what?
Sorry. No, it's okay. It's okay. So deadline dinners is it can be a container that you're creating your actual deadline dinners, but you're recording it. and perhaps talking about it in a way that this is a passion project, but it's not a designed, flat, photographed passion
it's like
project.
a content passion project. Because when you and I were talking years ago, like passion projects are just like, it could be content.
Yeah.
Where it's like, okay. But to use it to talk about
your education. Like, what are your educational offerings? You have the portfolio procrastinator.
Portfolio class, mural class, my passion project class, which is a whole other thing. I got to revamp that. I will not promote it until I revamp it. So,
okay.
Yeah.
Okay. So could this be you creating deadline dinners, recording content, thinking about talking points for deadline dinners as it relates to passion project as you want it to be? Would that motivate you to update passion to paid? Or does that feel overwhelming?
Ooh. Well, the thing that came to mind when you were saying that was maybe with deadline dinners, like, I wonder if I could use it as a, again, vehicle if I'm talking about something. I didn't really think about using it to talk about anything really other than the recipes.
Right.
But maybe I could share stories from like real client project, like real deadlines that I worked on. Because there's like a lot of twists and turns and like unexpected revisions and stuff. And maybe there's like it's like a story time opportunity.
I feel like storytelling opportunity. You're sharing. I love the idea of it being like a real. I'm thinking in terms of content because that's like one of the hurdles that we're trying to address.
Yeah, it's not the making of the art that's the hurdle. It's the content part that's the hurdle. Because I also just like do this fucked up thing where like I know I want to share more on the internet, but then I consume media about how the internet's fucked up and like the tech monopolies are stealing our data. And like, I'm just like, I consume media that makes me not want to post on the internet.
Yeah.
Even though I desperately need to post on the internet.
It's part of, I mean, it's kind of like, I think you and I both have Chase Bank credit cards and they invest in things that we probably don't support, but we still use those cards.
Yeah.
It's like I understand where you're coming from. And I think I try to just put my like blinders on.
Everything's happening all at once.
Yeah.
Like it's not a like, again, with my like MO being avoidant, like I can't just turn away from it completely. And like, I mean, I can, but there's consequences to that.
Right.
And like, it's an imperfect situation.
I think it's imperfect action, right? Like we've talked about that before on the podcast where that stuff is happening anyway, whether or not you are marketing your work. And your work is your livelihood.
Yeah.
And also, you're creating and cultivating and encouraging an online community of people who want to be better. You can talk about your values. You are very scrappy in terms of like using all of the food. Like you have your 10 pounds of beans or almonds or whatever it is. Like, you have a very like caring approach to your cooking. You cook for us all the time. You cook for your people in your life. So I think that you can talk about like community being important and you're cultivating that through sharing your story and people seeing themselves through you. So I think, if there's a way where you can like have the storytelling aspect where it's like a video and you're kind of doing a voiceover and talking about like why you chose this particular meal. Maybe then there's a carousel with the recipe or a link to a blog post with the recipe to kind of create this container. And maybe it's like you give yourself the challenge, which I love to talk about challenges. Like I gave myself a break on posting on Fridays by creating Friday Feed Refresher, where I just post like, it's not junk posting. Like it's just like, here are the things that I'm like little joys that I had this week. But can it be like, Recipe Thursday or something? So you kind of give yourself like, I don't have to think about what to post this day because it's this day and I'm going to post the recipe. To kind of give yourself a baseline. So you're just like, okay, well, it's this day. I know I'm going to do that. Instead of having to be like, whoa, I'm overwhelmed. I have to plan a week of content.
Yep.
Does that make sense?
Yeah, because I used to do that with my like newsletter and like, I think having a reason to post, which is why like launch schedules work better for me. With courses. Yeah, that does make sense.
Okay. Well, I'm here to keep talking about it.
Thank you. I know we're like way over my time.
No,
I'm
we're
sure.
actually
Really?
Yeah. We did 20 minutes.
Okay, that's not bad.
Yeah.
Yeah. Wow. Thank you.
So yeah, I hope that was helpful.
It is.
But
And like there's only so much we can talk about in 20 minutes.
Yeah. And like I said, here we can take this offline. Love to use corporate lingo.
Hey, Lauren here. This episode is brought to you by me and my brain. If you've ever wanted to pick it, you can now book a one-on-one coaching session with me. Whether you want a portfolio review, advice on launching an online course from someone who's done it 24 or so times, or you just want to talk through the big existential creative questions that keep you up at night, I'd love to support you. A limited number of sliding scale slots are available as well. I know it's weird out there right now. You can go to homsweethom.com/coaching or head to the link in the episode description to learn more. Kate, now back to the show.
I think that's something that maybe I have never, because I like have followed you and that's how we became friends. Like I kind of know based on what I see on the internet or your emails, what your offerings are.
Mm-hmm.
But thinking about like asking those direct questions and thinking about like, okay, these are the two main targets that I'm thinking of. And if we are cultivating the trust and relational aspects of your audience and talking about it in the perspective of like, I'm doing this passion project, and then, linking it to a blog post or whatever, getting people like, hey, as I'm doing this passion project myself, I'm updating Passion to Paid, get on the wait list. Like maybe it doesn't even need to be like a hard sell, but you can just be like, this is happening. It's coming. And maybe by promising that, it will force you to do it. Because I know we love a deadline.
Yeah, I need a deadline.
And deadline dinners. You're using deadline dinners to create a deadline for yourself, which you could talk about.
Oh, this could be a whole other thing. Yeah, I mean, the reason I haven't updated Passion to Paid or haven't promoted it is because I think we might have talked about this offline, but like I'm still confident about the like creative material that I teach in there of like how to come up with a creative brief and like come up with a passion project format that like fits the kind of work that you want to do and come up with like a portfolio piece. I'm less confident because the internet has changed so much and like the algorithms that distribute like what people see has changed so much. I don't know if I can teach people anymore how to get their work seen per se. And that was a big sell of the class because I came up in like the Tumblr era where you could like have a project go viral a little more easily, and not even like viral, but like there was a different kind of shareability to work 10 years ago. And now I'm just like, I don't know.
Well, but I think your messaging still is true. Like the goal of Passion to Paid is to create a body of work that excites you and share it. And maybe you have to tweak the messaging of like, yeah, you might not be getting in front of all of the eyes immediately because we don't use hashtags as much or this algorithm. But maybe it's just like, we never really know what the algorithm is going to do, but we can show up consistently for ourselves. And that's the advice that you can give.
That is true. My only other solve was like, well, the promotion part was a third of the class, so maybe I should just lower the price by a third. I don't know.
I mean, I think they should still promote their work. It's just like you're not guaranteeing that they're going to get client work, which you weren't guaranteeing that anyway.
Yeah.
I feel like with a little bit of tweaking of language, it actually probably doesn't need as much as you think.
I think I'm just being really hard on myself too, because like it's kind of like what you said in a couple episodes ago about how you were hesitant to call yourself a creativity coach because you didn't want to be associated with the negative connotation of online coach.
Yeah.
I am doing the like a version of that with this where I'm like, well, I don't want to sell anything that I can't 100% deliver on when no one can 100% deliver on anything.
No.
I'm just like, I've been feeling weird about it for years.
Yeah.
Ever since like I felt less certain that I could deliver on.
Yeah. And I think like all people are really looking for is just like trusting that you're going to be honest with them, which you are. And you could say, I came up in the Tumblr era. The internet is a lot different now, but I do think that showing up consistently for yourself and putting your work out there is the best way.
It's better than not.
It's better than not. Yeah.
Yeah, that is true.
And maybe it's like getting people in your own newsletter funnel faster so that you can have more control over your audience. But
for sure.
I mean, I don't think that Instagram is a bad idea. Like, I still love to post on Instagram. And I do think that new people are finding me every day. And it's just a matter of consistency. Yeah. Would love to keep talking about this. So let's do that.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, what questions do you have for moi?
Okay. Actually, after that, I feel like I have a couple, but I'll start with one, and then if we rapid fire through it,
I mean, you can ask me. It doesn't matter.
I know. Okay, so as you all know, listeners, watchers, pals, I've been introducing myself this season as an artist first because I'm very interested in working on my practice more as a practice and not just as like a hobby where I make one thing because I'm excited about it. I have some ideas for bodies of work that do storytelling, but in my style of creating objects. And one of my big juicy life goals, I think in the far future, or maybe like mid future, is to apply for and hopefully get accepted to some residency programs. In order to get accepted to a residency program, as far as I understand, I have to have a portfolio. And I've never had a portfolio because I've had like my Instagram of my work with my old business, but I've never actually created like a fine art portfolio.
Which always surprises me because I just kind of, with like Hazel and Dolly and like your ceramics, and your online shop, like I just kind of assumed it was attached to a portfolio always because in my like world, everyone just has a portfolio.
Yeah. I mean, I think when I created my website for Rachel Renee, I kind of had some pillars of like, here's my art, here are my clothes, here's my media kit.
Nice.
And it was very simple. Like it was like I threw up a Squarespace template site. And so for a while I was taking pictures of my ceramics work and posting it because I wanted to sell it. But then I shifted gears and was like, I stopped doing ceramics for several years, first of all. And then I didn't really see a need for a portfolio because the work that I was getting was based around fashion at the time, which is easiest to see on my Instagram.
Right.
And so not a lot of people were going to my website. And now my website is more about like, what are my offerings and who am I and how to work with me. But yeah, I first and foremost want to be an artist. Like what I talk about and what I envision for my dream life is I want the time freedom to dick around on whatever projects I'm working on, but working toward them as like processing feelings and stories that I'm working through in my head. And they're all related to personal growth and like my experience of growing and recognizing, limiting beliefs and interrupting patterns that have historically not served me and identity and things like that. And I feel like I want to explore those in a broader sense with a body of work. And so everything that I've created is kind of just like one-off. This is fun. And I haven't, because it's not been a part of a larger picture or experience or body of work, I haven't really documented it. And so, yeah, I think I would love your advice on like how to create a portfolio, what kind of things, how should I approach it, knowing that like my kind of pillars of my artistic work are ceramics, sewing, and I guess like creative expression through all the work that I create. But I don't know if that needs to go in the portfolio.
For the sake of getting a artist residency, based on what I know, I've never like applied for one. So I think the things you'll need are like the body of work. And to me, your body of work are like textiles and then ceramics.
Yeah.
So I think those can live in like either separate like pages or like tabs. Or maybe they look, because aesthetically you kind of have a through line to all your work with colors and like shapes. It could all live on the same page too. Like I think that with your body of work, it's what I call the trail mix method, where it's just like all in one page. Because that's what my body of work is. If you go to my website, just like homsweethom.com/work, it's just like 50 projects all in a row. And because I use similar colors and like textures and like all my work feels okay together in a collection, almost like a collection of stamps or something. Whereas some people, if they work in completely different mediums or different, let's say industries, like maybe you work like for a lot of sports teams for whatever, you do branding for sports teams, but then you also do like stationery. Maybe those things don't look nice intermingled. So it's really a curation thing. So I see that for you where it's like textiles, ceramics, and then you'll just need like a artist statement and like a little bit about yourself, and then a CV with just stuff about your creative practice and where you went to school. Like, I don't think it matters so much because you didn't go to like an art school, but I think they'll just want to see education.
I mean, like what is a CV? I've never made a CV before.
It's basically like an artistic resume that like, have you ever participated in like a group art show, even for letter? Okay. It's just a creative resume, basically, that lists any shows you've been in, any schooling you've had, anything notable like that you've done, like maybe even some like interviews, press, like trying to think what I know about you that you could put in there. An artist statement might just be enough.
I mean, I think knowing that, thinking about the show thing, there have been a couple of group show call for projects that I have seen that I'm like, I should really start paying more attention to these so that I can submit work and understand that process. Because I'm sort of the type of person that's like all or nothing. So I'm like, I have to do a residency and do a solo show. But like there are lower entry points that are so much less work that I could get. And,
Yeah, it's always good to start small because when it comes to building a portfolio too, one bit of advice that I give people a lot, because this has been true in my own career too, is instead of waiting until you have like a body of work you actually are so jazzed about to then get the website. Like I actually started my first website when I was 16 in high school. And it was my full birth certificate name.com, which is probably not a great idea.
Sure.
And it had like all my like high school graphic design artwork. It was not good, but like what I tell people is get in the habit of getting like your as is portfolio up now. Like something is better than nothing. And you iterate where, okay, this is what I'm working with now. And you just slowly over the years swap out your worst project for a better project, and like things just like get slotted in.
Yeah.
And over time, your portfolio just gets a little better and better and better. And it's easier once you have like the bones to slowly like slot things in and out than to build up this body of work that's just like files on your computer and then feel overwhelmed by like, okay, how do I get this online now? And so I think you starting with just textiles and ceramics now is perfect because now you can iterate from there, because now you'll have these two nice categories, and seeing all of your work together in one vertical is actually really powerful because you'll see like, instead of just like each piece that you've been working on one at a time, you'll see all your ceramics work shot on the same background in like a gallery. Yeah. That's pretty cool.
Yeah, I am excited about that because as I was sort of thinking about, when I told you and Kristle about the residency idea, I was like, I don't know, like what even medium would I apply? And you both were like, ceramics, duh. And I was like, I don't have that much ceramics work. And then I walked around my house after that day that we talked about it. And I was like, I have a lot. I have a lamp. I have a clock. I have lots of little dishes that I've carved into. I have really cool mug series that I've made. And weird little things that I've made but don't think about because it's like a magnet on my fridge, but it's still fun and can be and I do feel that I have a very like strong through line as far as like the aesthetics of all my pieces look pretty similar. I do the same kind of carving and colorways. And my textile pieces are similar. I haven't made as many, but I know the listeners and watchers can't see, but I have that quilted bag that I made. And so many people were like, oh my gosh, did you make your bag? And I was like, actually, I used a bunch of scrap from like chopping a t-shirt. Like anytime I crop a t-shirt, I keep the other fabric and I make little grids with all of that extra fabric. And then I just got a branded bag from somebody that I didn't care about the brand name and I covered it up. And I'm like, oh, doing little projects like that is still, I can still take a photo of that because it's showing off how I'm like pairing colors together, and like the sustainability aspect of like so much of my sewing work is already existing fabric. I'm not buying new fabric for it.
100%. And I will say a lot of a portfolio as well, like coming from a like graphic design background, a lot of it has to do with how you present it. Like a photo taken for Instagram where it's like quickly snapped with a phone, or like it's like if you take a screenshot of a video of you wearing the bag, right? Like that's not quite because you weren't thinking about it with the intention to put it in a portfolio. Sure, it might work as a stand-in, but maybe there's people in the background, or like, you know, you're wearing like a outfit that's competing with the bag as well. When things are shot for portfolios, it's usually on like a clean background, nice lighting. Like the intention is to showcase just the piece that was made.
Yeah.
And you can tell in the final object. A lot of times when I'm doing portfolio reviews, when I get into the nitty gritty for designers, a lot of it comes down to like, hey, this is like a great like poster or greeting card that you did or painting. But like, why is it like, if I were you, I would not shoot it like, I can tell it's on your dining table, like top down, or like a picnic table, or like on the floor. Like maybe consider propped up like against like just like a solid color wall. It just adds a little bit more of a professional edge to it. And it shows someone who's looking like they can picture your work now in more of a gallery setting or like more of like a curated space.
Okay, so here's a question. And I was just talking to Kristle about this. Like one thing, like how I'm envisioning this is like you're saying, like clean background, like white, you know, what is it called? Like endless. Seamless, yeah. And in some cases though, I do think it would be fun to have like GIF style where it's like the lamp turns on and off and it's still on that like formal background, and the photos that created the GIF are higher quality. So obviously I want playfulness in my work no matter what. And like the pieces are playful. But how would you advise against doing stuff like that? Or like if my hand is holding something and I'm like twisting it still with the white background, like the high quality, would you advise against that?
Oh no, I think that's absolutely fine.
Okay.
Like, and it really depends on your personal style. And because of your style, like you can be more casual about it. You can still have fun. Like I shoot a lot of my portfolio on like a colored backdrop.
Oh,
even if it's solid color.
Yeah.
So you can do colorful seamlesses, like as long as it's not competing with the art. You never want your background to compete with the art. That's really all it is. Like I have GIFs in my portfolio too. So
you call them GIFs? Oh, are we? Oh, I know I'm wrong, but I prefer GIF.
I was at a event and the guy who like founded or created GIFs said it's GIF.
He's wrong too.
Sure.
Yeah. I know.
I'm trying to be respectful.
I know. That's nice of you. I'm like, I like the g sound.
What was that?
The g sound. There's a video game on Nintendo 64 that I played as a kid and still sometimes pull out and play. Called Banjo-Kazooie. Are you familiar?
Kind of.
Okay. I've probably talked about it before. And it's a bear and a bird.
Oh no, this is Crash Bandicoot.
Crash Bandicoot. Yeah. Similar. Okay. I mean, the games are different, but yeah, similar era.
Is it a different universe? Okay.
Yeah, so Banjo is a bear.
No
clue. And he wears a little backpack, and Kazooie is the bird that lives in his backpack. And it's a single player game, like a what is it called? Where you like explore and you do challenges and you're doing it by yourself.
Open world?
Yeah, I think so. It doesn't matter.
I'm not nerdy enough to know. I'm sorry.
Me either. You would think that I would be. But
you're not computer
I'm an
nerdy,
only
though.
child, so I played a lot of these like single player games growing up. I should have been outside. I was a lot. My mom just sent me a picture of me, a bunch of like film photos of me. There was like one of me riding a bike, one of me playing baseball, one of me on the 4-wheeler, one of me ice skating. And she was like, you had a real active childhood. It's like, I do love sport. Like, thank you for that, because I love all the activities, which includes playing Banjo-Kazooie. And you can like, you learn different skills where you can like hold Kazooie like a gun, and he shoots eggs at the monsters. And it's like really silly, but Banjo has like a really stupid sounding voice. and he does this thing and it's like, Guh? And I think I can do it like pretty good. That one wasn't my best. I'm not going to do it again. But when I said the G sound, I just wanted it to continue on into the Banjo Kazooie sound. So
Wow.
if you're listening and you also played Banjo Kazooie,
Make the sound right now.
Make the sound. Throw a comment. Let us know that you listened.
Let us know how you think it's phonetically spelled.
Yeah. Guh?
We're just going to have comments on YouTube and Spotify with just a bunch of weird letters.
Yeah.
Guhy.
Yeah, I think it's Guh. Guh? Huh? Okay.
Back to the portfolio.
Back to the portfolio.
You asked about, yes, I think it's fine if you add those playful elements.
Okay.
As long as it's not taking away from the artwork.
Yeah.
Do you have any other specific questions about you go into documenting your work?
For sure. What would you include in an artist statement? Because I have no formal art education, like I've never done like a peer review. What is it called? Like when you give feedback?
Oh yeah, a critique.
Yes.
So you could think about it like a artsy-fartsy version of, like a slightly more pretentious version of your About Me on your website.
Okay. Love that.
You are giving a paragraph or two about who you, like the person behind the work. So the portfolio images are there to show the work, right?
Yeah.
Here's the art. And the artist statement is there to add context to the person who made it.
Mm-hmm.
So you're saying, I'm Rachel. You might want to talk about the things that influenced the work that you create.
Mm-hmm.
For some people, that's the place they grew up. For some people, that's like life experiences that they had.
Mm-hmm.
You want to be explicit in saying like, my work focuses on themes of this, this, and this.
Yeah.
And like for these reasons, or like I've been drawn to this, or like, you just want to add a little bit of context to
I feel like
the thesis of your work.
Yeah. That makes sense.
If you have that, and I'd be happy to workshop that with you.
Yeah.
And then for your portfolio too, of your images, I don't know about like an art portfolio for design, because mine is mostly client work. I usually add a sentence or two of like description of like what each project is on each project page. However, at the bare minimum for you of each piece that you have, if it has a title, the date that it was made, I think is helpful. And then the medium that it is usually what you will see in like when I'm flipping through any kind of like arts annual or like ceramics, like magazine is usually what they have. And dimensions sometimes they'll put.
Oh. Right, because if it's a piece that someone's going to buy.
Or it helps to give context. If your hand isn't in there for scale, it helps to give some context to like how big a piece might be. Because online, similar to how there's a placelessness on the internet, there's like a lack of scale on the internet, especially with a seamless backdrop. You really don't know how big something is unless it's like you could see like the grain of like the ceramic or something.
Yeah. Okay, that's fair. This episode is brought to you by me, Rachel Renee, your creativity coach. Did you know that I offer one-on-one sessions? One of my favorite things is to help my fellow chaotic creatives gain a little bit of clarity in their creative practices and their lives. So you can book a session today. We can develop or refine your creative project idea. We can clarify your creative goals. We can map out what your big, juicy life looks like. Or we can build a system for prioritizing play and making it easy for you to incorporate. If you'd like to book a session, you can visit rachelrenee.com. That's RACHELRENAE.com/coaching. Yeah, I'm excited about this. And it's so interesting because like I want to create this portfolio so that I want to do art shows and bodies of work that have this storytelling aspect. I didn't even think about it like being in a gallery where someone would buy something. Like I'm less focused on that. I just want to kind of like have commentary on these like higher level thoughts in a very playful way. Like I feel like what I'll include in the artist statement, and I will take you up on the workshopping of it, is like exploring the connection between personal growth and creative play.
Yeah,
because that is all of my work. Yeah, fun. Okay. I think that's really helpful. I appreciate it.
Yeah. It's like, I think recently I was scrolling on Instagram and I stumbled across, I think you follow Mudwitch,
Yes.
a ceramic artist.
Yes.
And they, I think, were interviewed about like it's tied into like what they could have in their artist statement about when I first came across their work, I'm like, oh, cute, like wiggly shaped ceramics. But when I read the interview, I was like, oh, that's actually really profound about how the shapes of their vessels are inspired by like the folds of a stomach being like plus sized and like celebrating like different shapes of bodies. And I was like, hell yeah.
Yeah.
Like that's amazing.
Absolutely.
And that helps to add so much more richness and context to like why, like it makes me want one of their pieces more.
Yeah.
Because of that.
Yeah, the intentionality behind why you're doing it this way. And yeah, it looks on the surface like very colorful and silly and playful, which is why I was drawn to them. I have 2 of them. They're really high qual. Great.
Nice.
Favorite mugs. I mean, I would expect nothing less from a professional ceramicist. But yeah, that was really beautiful. And like you said, adds so much richness. I really like that term because you can feel more of the care and intention knowing that backstory.
Yeah. And I think with like an artist statement, it's a little bit like self-indulgent where you get to reflect, and we know you love reflecting.
Love it.
And you basically like, as an artist, like people are coming to the art for, yes, the objects that are made, but also like the artist's story is inextricably tied to the art. And like, I identify more as a designer than an artist, but the same thing goes for the kind of work that I do because, you know, people talk about it more as like a personal brand in my neck of the woods, but the art and the person who made it, like people are curious about the person who made it. And it adds some context to what was made. Absolutely.
Yeah. And I feel like I have been impacted by art that people have made where I'm drawn to it because I'm like, oh, this is cool. It's pretty. It's aesthetically pleasing, which like, of course, is important to me. You know, we talked about our spaces in the last episode, like aesthetics matter to me and affect how I feel, whether it's art or my home or my clothes. But also like being drawn to something aesthetically and then reading the story behind it and understanding like the deeper meaning. I feel like I have that impacts me a lot. Like when something really resonates, I think that's magical. And so being able to have like a multi-layered impact on the person who's like absorbing your art it feels good to me.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Cool. Okay. Fun. This was fun. we kind of were not really sure how this episode was going to go, but I'm happy with it.
Yeah. And one thing I was going to say too about the last portfolio tip I'll give you is once you photograph everything that you've made, you might go through like different curatorial choices where maybe you do have like textiles and ceramics, but maybe you start to notice that like, oh, during that 6-month period, I actually made a small body of work within my bigger body of work. And maybe you organize your portfolio into like projects, right? Where it's like, here's the like, I don't know, smiley faces, or here's the like mugs. Like there's so many different ways you can curate it. So don't feel limited to just like mediums.
Okay. I like that a lot because I feel like I get into kind of a through line in the
little eras.
Yeah. I am doing a lot of stripes right now. But like I'm thinking of it as interrupting patterns because I'll do like 1 or 2 stripes that are different color. And I'm thinking actively about like intentionally interrupting the patterns that I'm having in my brain and trying to kind of set a stop to them. But it also on the surface looks like playful and silly and fun.
Yeah.
So I do think I do that too with my sewing a lot. Like interrupting patterns is something that I love to do.
Ooh, I like that.
Yeah.
There's something there.
Yeah. And I think it relates a lot to my personal growth. So, okay, that feels good. I'll probably be like, Lauren, can you look at this, please?
Yeah,
once
absolutely.
I get it. Yeah. Yay. Thank you.
You're welcome. And yeah, with portfolios, having a second set of eyes on your stuff is really helpful. So I'd be happy to take a look. That's like so much of what design school is just critiques, like sitting in a room with your peers talking about the work.
Do you offer that as part of your like one-on-one coaching? Like if someone were to come to you with like, hey, I put together this portfolio, can you give me feedback?
Yeah. So with my one-on-ones, a lot of people will use it as portfolio reviews.
Okay, cool.
Because in an hour, that's like a perfect amount of time to get like really in-depth feedback.
Love that.
Yeah.
Okay, so what's the portfolio procrastinator course?
Oh, so that's a thing I launch maybe once or twice a year. It's coming back soon, actually. It is 4 weeks, and each week we focus on a different thing. It's basically a class plus accountability. So I only do it live because the whole point is to beat the procrastination. I created the course that I needed. So I update my portfolio alongside everybody. So it's less of a top down and more of like a right next to you.
Yeah.
Each week we focus on a different task. So week 1 is doing like a portfolio audit where we go through our existing body of work. And this is where having like either my eyes or like other classmates' eyes are helpful, because everyone who's been doing this for more than a couple years has like 1 or 2 projects, usually towards the bottom of their portfolio, that like needs to go, but you're holding on to it because you're just like, but
it was special.
Like it won an award in college, or like it was my first freelance project. You just have like a sentimental, it's for the same reason.
There's an emotional connection.
For the same reason you like won't get rid of that one thing in your closet, right?
Yeah.
And oftentimes you need the gentle nudge from someone you trust to say like, hey, you've got all this great new stuff that you want to add. And again, I think that clarity is kindness.
Yeah. I've been, since you said that in one of our last episodes, I have been like, it's my mantra lately.
I love it.
Yeah.
It's very in line with spring cleaning, where it's just like, hey, what can we edit down and curate out so it makes it easier? It's a loving thing to do for the person viewing your portfolio, for them to see only the tip top, like what represents you now. And so that's week 1. Week 2, we then start to go through what we're going to be adding and getting together images for like what we're going to be uploading. So that's like the real workhorse week. And then week 3, we do like copywriting. So writing your artist statement or about me, your contact page, any like writing for like the descriptions of the projects. And then week 4 is all about like buckling down and like uploading all the things to your actual website. So we don't start uploading anything till the very end, because we spend the first couple of weeks gathering and then we sit down and upload to the site.
Amazing. I didn't realize it was a 4-week course. That's awesome. Okay.
It's still like, it's guided, but you don't have to do it in real time with me. Like anytime during the week you can do it. But it's just like you get a weekly email and a check-in and like a weekly office hours where you can like ask me questions or get feedback.
Cool. Yeah. Okay, so hopefully around the time that this episode releases, there'll be a wait list or an actual launch happening.
There should be a link, if all goes well, in the show notes.
Perfect. Okay, well, I think we're basically at time. That actually worked out really well.
Yay.
So yeah, like we mentioned at the beginning, Lauren and I are both opening up some one-on-one coaching opportunities if you would like to book time with us individually. We won't be doing it together, but maybe that's something we could do on the Patreon.
That'd be wild to do joint.
Yeah.
If you want to do a chaotic creative coaching session.
It would be that.
Let us know if you'd want that. That could be an interesting offering.
I feel like that might be something that we could do in the Patreon.
That actually seems like a Q&A style thing.
Like
where
a group thing?
Yeah, like you and I log on and like we answer things together.
Yeah. Cute. Okay.
Cool.
We'll consider that.
We'll drop the link to both of our links to book sessions with us if you want to brainstorm with either of us. But we both have different levels of expertise and other different things. So
definitely
hit us up.
Yeah. And if you have capacity, join the Patreon. We have a few different tiers where we have discounts on our courses and offerings. We have Patreon exclusive materials. And then we have our super mega tier where we have listener supported ads, basically, where we will talk about your project. Are you launching a course that you want us to talk about? You can sponsor an episode with that tier. And as always, please leave a review, share the episode with someone you think might benefit from it. And we'll see you next time.
Thanks for listening. Bye.